Valsts ugunsdzēsības glābšanas dienesta priekšnieks pulkvedis Mārtiņš Baltmanis ar lielu prieku šogad ir pievienojies mums arī uz šīs konkrētās skatuves. Runāsim mēs par efektivitāti ugunsdrošībā un civilajā aizsardzībā. Lūdzu, aplausus.
Bet šitā nav manējā. Bet šī nav manējā prezentācija. Reku ir īstā. Paldies. Es varu sākt, ja? Okay. Thank you very much for having me here. My presentation will be in English. So please use your headphones if you want to get translation in Latvian. It is a pleasure to participate in this conference, and so my presentation is related to efficiency or effectiveness in the field of civil protection and fire safety. So first of all, what I would like to start is with a term. What does it mean, efficiency or effectiveness? Of course, if we search on the internet, we can find out different terms. But I think the best way how to explain what we as a service understand what is efficiency or effectiveness is this picture, where we have another two, as we can say, words like precision. So, where's pointer? Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, but when we talk about precision, so we talk about the random errors. And what is our aim? Actually, you see these gray dots. So precision is about how close actually is these gray dots. However, when we talk about the accuracy, so we talk about how close to the true value of our efficiency is to the, and true value for us is actually the center of the same. So in all these cases, we can talk about the efficiency or effectiveness. But again, if we want to high efficiency or high effectiveness, then of course we need high accuracy and high precision. So during this presentation, I will try to go through our advice or hints which you can take with yourself and adapt to your organization through our examples, how we see efficiency and how we use these advices in our service. So the first advice or hint, as we can say, is you have to set up clear goal and have to set up your key performance indicators in order to achieve your aims. So if you want, you can use this QR code and look at our service strategy, where you can find our 5 strategic goals. And for every strategic goal, we have different initiatives. And for every initiative, we have key performance indicators for every year. Totally, we have 57 key performance indicators. And the one thing is that we set up our key performance indicators and goals. But another crucial thing actually is that we monitor our key performance indicators. And yesterday, actually, we had our annual meeting where we went through our key performance indicators and tried to understand where we succeed in 2023. And actually, from all these 57 key performance indicators, we didn't succeed only on 2 key performance indicators. But this is our one of advices. So if we want to be effective or efficient, so we need to set up goals and key performance indicators and monitor them. The next hint or advice from our side would be data collection and analysis of the data. So as a first advice, what we use in order to collect actually data is feasibility studies. We as a state institution has a possibility actually to apply for the special European Union Civil Protection Program where we can perform feasibility study by getting private sector and getting information and data from the private sector actually related to our tasks. As an example, on this slide we put one feasibility study we did related to the notification systems. Since we are the firefighters and dealing with fire safety, firefighting and civil protection, but we are not an experts in actually technologies which provide the new notification approaches actually. We don't know exactly how the mobile network operators work, how they ensure their services. So we need to get information from the private sector in order to implement our tasks. So, and through these feasibility study, again, we gain the information, we get analysis from the private sector, what is the newest technologies, what is the newest actually procedures you can use in order to notify people. So, but at the same time, in every organization, you can perform feasibility study by inviting other institutions, other experts from different institutions. At the same time, it doesn't mean that actually you as an institution does not engage. You have to engage as much as actually this external actor you have invited with their expertise or knowledge. So it's a both way work in order to get actually result. And through these feasibility studies, again, we can implement solutions or establish actually the notification systems which are more efficient or effective in order to notify people if you compare with the existing systems. The next hint or advice, what we do is surveys of population, and this relates more to the civil protection or disaster management. So last year during this conference, I showed one slide with the survey which was done by the United States of America. But last year we did the same survey and asked our population actually, do they know how to act in case of different emergencies? And actually this 62% is one of our key performance indicators. This is the first indicator we set up, and every year we would like to improve actually this indicator. Right now we can say that our society in Latvia, they are 62% prepared, or at least they answer to the question that I know how to act in different hazards or different emergencies. So as you can see, there were 82% of people who said, I know how to act in case of power outage within the 24 hours. We see the same percentage when it relates to evacuation. But again, this study shows us actually that only 44% of population said that they know how to act in case of chemical accident or in case of radiological emergency. So again, this is data which we can use in a preventive way. We can use in a training phase. So it means that we have to put more effort or work on this kind of trainings or explanations for the population, just to ensure that they feel that they know how to act in case of, for example, chemical accident or radiological emergency. And then we can see, of course, there is a terrorism threat. Only 37% of population said that they know how to act if the terrorism attack occurs. But again, with these surveys, we can go more deeper. We can go deeper, and example is with evacuation. So we see that 80% of population said, I know what to do in case if the evacuation is alarmed. But then we ask, what would be your actually actions in case of evacuation? Would you use the temporary accommodation place provided by the municipality? And only 31% of population said, yes, I will use the temporary accommodation place provided by the municipality. Of course, we can see also some half of the population said that I would like to stay with relatives or friends. But again, we can use this data, and again, we have to analyze it in what kind of threat it's applicable or not applicable. So taking into account, again, our geographical territory. But then also 5% of people said that they will refuse to evacuate. So then again, our next question was, what is the reason why you refuse to evacuate? So the majority of people said they are very optimistic. So they think nothing will happen. We are in a safe country. But at the same time, we can see there were people who said, I won't leave my house because I have pets or livestock, or I want to protect my property. And from the previous emergencies, last year we had the floods in the Ekapils city, and also there was a lot of people who stayed in a affected territory. And from Ukraine experience, we also can see that there are people who stay in a hazard environment, and they don't or refuse to evacuate from this territory. But again, of course, this is assumption of the people. They answer to these questions where they are not in threat. Actually, they are in their house. But at least, I don't say that this is very exact data, but at least it gives us direction, I would say, which we can use in our planning phase, which we can use when we plan actually evacuation, when we plan, and we always, when we speak about evacuation, we want control. Somehow we want to control actually evacuation or control movement of population. So this is data we can use in order, or in the process of planning of evacuation and control of movement of population. Again, other data, during these surveys, we ask people, does they install the smoke alarm in their household? So 82% of people said, I have installed the smoke detector in my house. But at the same time, we collect separate data. This data is survey, so this is total value. But then actually, we collect also data from the fires that really occur. And in this case, we see, again, 57% of all fires which occur, the smoke detector wasn't installed. It wasn't. And again, it's kind of, I would say, confusing. So from one data we see 82% of population have installed smoke detector. But in reality, we see 57% people doesn't install the smoke detector where the fire occur. But again, let's go deeper. How many fires do we have in households? So it's 0.2% of all households where we have the fires. So what is our task? If we want to be efficient or effective, we have to work with 0.2% of population. We have to identify and find out this target group. Again, this is about our resources, how we use our resources, because it's obvious we cannot actually reach every person. So we have to, if we want to be effective, so we have to work with this 0.2%, because we see that where there is no smoke detector, fire occur. So it means that attitude to the safety in this particular household is not so high as it is maybe in all other households. Risk assessment and information systems. This is next hint or advice from our side. So as we see it, so we identify 9 risk sources, which is data for us in order to assess the risk in particular territory. So you can see first 3 risk sources is related to the population. So the number of population, density of population. 4th and 5th risk source is number of households, since the 80% of fatalities in fires occur in households. So this is a risk source for us actually. And the number of rescue events, total number of rescue events in the municipality. Then the next risk sources are related to our fires in households, other fires and other rescue events, and of course infrastructure which is located in this particular territory. And then we have a methodology. It's quantitative methodology. So you can see for every risk level we set up as an institution, we set our criteria. What is high risk for us? What is high risk? Number of inhabitants, 75,000 people, it's a high risk. And 750 people is a low risk. So for every this quantitative criteria, we have an indicator, and then we compile our indicators, and at the very beginning we receive at what risk level is the territory. And of course then another methodology, how we are going to plan our resources. So how fast and in which extent we would like to be in particular risk territory. So as you can see, in a very high risk territory, we have to be very quick with a huge crew. In a low or very low territory, we can be in 30 minutes. And also, again, because the severity and the number of events in the low risk territory or very low risk territory is completely different if you compare with the very high territory. And then you can see the outcome or results actually of the risk assessment. This is not only about 43 municipalities. We did the risk assessment for every parish. It's more than 500 territories in Latvia. So where we can see again what is the risk level related to fire safety and civil protection in this territory. And then again, we can put the layers on a map, and layers of road infrastructure, layers of inhabitants, and analyze this data, and then set up where this fire station should be located or where the volunteer firefighter station should be located. Here is one risk source which is related to the number of fires in households per 100,000 people. So again, this data give us, since I said that 80% of people die in fires in the households, so this is risk source. We can see again which territory is very high risk or high risk. So it means that if we want to be efficient, there is no need to work with maybe, or we have to invest or put less effort in a gray territories and put more effort or more training or more preventive actions in a territories which is very high risk or high risk. Something similar also related to the civil protection. You can see separate methodology for disaster risk assessment for all institutions. I think the presentations will be available, but this information is publicly also available on our website, which we integrate in our state civil protection plan, also publicly available. Here you can see the outcome. Again, what is the high risk? What is the low risk? So again, our task is to get all high risks as less than it's possible. And implement preventive preparedness measures. Information systems, again, if we want to use our resources efficiently and effective, actually, so we have to ensure that our employees, they do fire safety, firefighting, and civil protection job or work, actually, not to gather information. So information systems can help us actually automatically gather all the necessary data, analyze this data, because the risk assessment we did related to fire safety, we did it manually, but in the future, actually in 2026, we see that it will be done automatically. You can see the last actually risk instrument. So all the data is available in different databases. So our task is to establish the information system which ensures that data is collected according to our methodology, analyzed, and then we see the outcome, the territories which are in danger or high risk or lower risk. So, and all other actually digital fire safety supervision, again, we go to the digital supervision, communication with our customer, with the society, in order to perform supervision of fire safety. So use the information systems. And as you can see, all my previous actually slides were about prevention and preparedness. That's why the last hint from our side, or advice from our side, is prevention as a key to effectiveness, actually. Some researches. So these two gentlemen, they did a study on how much money is spent actually globally on prevention and preparedness, and how much money is spent on response and recovery. So what we can see, the research was done by gathering information in a time period from 2011, 2018, so 7-year period. So they tried to collect all the information where the financial resources were allocated, whether to prevention or preparedness phase or response and recovery phase. So, and you can see, only 5% was allocated for the prevention and preparedness. Again, what is the cause of it? The cause is, according to their study, because the donors or decision makers which allocate the financial resources, actually they don't see the result of preventive or preparedness measure. Because if we are effective in prevention and preparedness, there is less disasters, or the consequences of the emergency is less, so, or the severity is less. So this is, and also, if, for example, government allocate financial resources in order to obtain the fire truck, we all see the new red fire truck with blue lights. We see, oh, they extinguish fire, they rescue people for car accidents. Oh, it's great. You see, we allocate money for response and recovery. Yeah, people see it. Yeah, good. Everyone see it. If we allocate money for prevention, we maybe even didn't see it. Or, actually, what was also discovered by this study, there's a lack of information. Lack of information what kind of projects were implemented in the prevention and preparedness phase, and actually what is the cost and benefit. But actually I found some studies where they did actually study what is the cost-benefit ratio between investments in prevention and preparedness in comparison with response. So both studies were done under the United Nations umbrella through their programs. So one study was done in 3 countries. So they have invested $5.6 million US dollars in 49 emergency preparedness measures. And then they evaluate actually what is the benefit of investment. So the main 3 things which give these 4 outcomes actually, you can see, save costs and time. So 64% of all these 49 emergency preparedness measures. So they have saved in 64% of these measures time and cost. So, time saved 93%. And the main actions they have identified through these studies, which show this result is that we have a pre-positioning of resources. Before the emergency occurs, we plan resources which we need for response. As we see from the previous, for example, SARS-CoV-2 epidemic, so there was a lack of masks. Again, there was need for huge time, and again, masks were more expensive than it was before the pandemic. And of course, the response time as well was not identified as an advantage. And the next study was done also in 2 countries during 1 year. And again, by investing £1 in prevention and preparedness, they saved in the future £2.8, which could be spent in a response and recovery. So the same average payback by investing in prevention and preparedness, according to the study, it was indicated it's 4.4 years. Then we get back this cost and benefit ratio. And last, again, it's almost 1 month, average 1 month, by saving the time what we spend on response phase. What about Latvia? In 2013, there was a flood across all Latvia. This is the data we could actually gather with a high likelihood. I can say there was more cost, which we spent on response. At 2013, whole government in city Sarnikava, only on response, they spent €353,000. Then, through the European Regional Fund, they established and developed the dam system in city Sarnikava. It cost for them €4.4 million. And then, as you can see, there was 4 years where the level of water, you can see in 2013, the level of water was 302 centimeters above the scale, and it cost 353,000 cost. Then we had 308 in 2017. We didn't spend any cent on response and recovery. Then we had 318 in 2023. We didn't spend any cent on response and recovery. And we can see in 2022, 2021, so all these years where the level of water was higher, and actually much higher. If we see here just the centimeters, but in a flood, emergency actually only a couple of centimeters means huge territories actually. So based on these data, we can see we get back half payback from what we have invested in prevention and preparedness. So this is actually our advices, hints, how to be effective. So again, set up your goals, set up key performance indicators, monitor them. Second, perform risk assessment and use information systems. Third, collect data and analyze data. And last, perform prevention and preparedness, which is the key to be more effective. Thank you very much.
Paldies, Pulkveža kungs. Vai ir kādi jautājumi? Vai ir kādi jautājumi? There is part of population which feels better if they oppose any governance, like any. Especially if they are told that they can't do something or shouldn't be doing something. Do you feel that pressure also when you are trying to educate population in Latvia?
Just in some cases. If we talk generally, then no. But there are always some people which say, there wasn't any fire. What are you talking about? Why I have to install the smoke detector? There won't be anything. But generally, I would say no. And actually, we, as a State Fire Rescue Service, according to surveys, people trust very, very much to our service, to our officials. So, but there is some people who don't want to listen to us.
All right, because when the safety belts were introduced in Latvia and the chairs for kids in the cars, the opposition was quite harsh. And then came these fire detectors. And also, why should I spend some money? Are you saying that this is changing?
Yeah, this is changing. And actually, I showed that in a 57% of all fires, there wasn't smoke detector. But actually, in a 34% of fires in households, smoke detector saved lives. And if we look to our key performance indicator related to fatalities, annual fatalities in Latvia, we are now very close to we have succeeded actually with our key performance indicator. So there is less fatalities in fires than it was in the previous years. Last year was a record, so we haven't had so many or less fatalities in fires as it was in 10 years. Even if we compare them with 10 years, then it's 48% less fatalities in fires than it is today.
And you believe it's because of the fire detectors?
No,
detectors.
I believe it's not only because of fire detectors, it's because of different campaigns, different activities we perform every day. Today we have a stand, I would say every week we have a campaign or some event where we participate or we talk about the fire safety, importance of fire safety. So this is not a one campaign, this is daily work for us.
Paldies par to darbu, ko jūs darāt. Paldies jums.
You're welcome.
Paldies, jā, obligāti certifikāts un bilde, lūdzu. Vēl višķi aplausus, lūdzu, lai mums ir bilde un certifikāti, lūdzu, jā, Pulkraškungs, parādiet, lūdzu. Paldies.